Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. I'm sharing links and then we'll be there. Hi, Kathy and Lori and Nancy and Mindy. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm almost back to normal. I've had a really bad headache tonight, but I think I'm not sure what that is. So, hey, Trisha. I didn't see you sneak in there. Doing okay. Holding my own. Yeah, I took some Tylenol earlier and laid down for a little while. Oh, I know, Nancy. That sewing and inking takes forever, it seems like. What have you guys been up to? Hey, Nettie. How are you? Hope you're doing good. Well, thanks, Janet, for the thumbs up. We appreciate it. Any thumbs up and likes and shares, and we like all that stuff. Woohoo, Lori, Dollar Tree. Gotta love the Dollar Tree. I've been playing. Oh, I know, Trisha. Me too. Yeah, Nettie, I have not even got there. That is my fault, and I apologize. It has been crazy today for me. Mindy, what's the iCAD thingy? Do I know what that is? I can't seem to. Hi, Mom. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, Nettie, we'll figure something out. Okay, I have a headache, Mindy, so my brain is. Oh, an index card a day. Okay. Yes, I did see that. Okay. Sorry. Like I said, my brain is not functioning like crazy. Hey, Beverly. Wendy, I think I seen you fly up through there. Okay, Trisha, that's fine. I know a lot of people are lurking doing other things. I feel fine. I have a headache. I'm gonna work on what we're doing tonight, and then I'm gonna rest up. Hey, Carol, how are you? Awesome, Wendy. Yeah, I seen that, Mindy. I was just my brain dead for the moment. My brain's not functioning properly. Hi, Connie. How are you today? And Lori, I know you said you still can't see Mom. I will try the next time I get a chance to get that fixed on her phone. I think maybe she's just hit something. Oh, thank you, Carol. I am. Marty, I feel fine. I just sort of have a headache. Yeah, it is, Lori. It's odd. I will. I will. And I took some Tylenol, so I'm just waiting for it to kick in. So if it gets bad, I'll stop. It's just a dull ache. I'm fine, you guys. Seriously, I'm fine. But thanks for your concern. Yes, Mother Marty. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, Lori. I went and checked on my side. It's not on my side. So I think maybe she's accidentally bumped your name, maybe, in chat and not realized it or something. I don't know. I'll get it figured out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started, guys. Hey, Cheryl text. Okay, Natty. Hi, Kath. Yay, Kathy, that's funny. Okay, so let me yawn first. Whoa, I don't know where that came from. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I have made a template that I'm going to be using a little bit, and it is just 8 inches by 5.5. And I make sure I mark template on there because we're going to have some other pieces that are going to be similar to the same size. So to keep from, getting them mixed up, I'll just write template on there so that's covered. And hold on just a second. I'm trying to. Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side. I know, Jackie, right? I couldn't help it. I must have sensed that somebody else was doing it. Okay, so again, my template is just 8 inches by 5.5. And I'm going to set that to the side. We'll come back to that. Okay, then we will need 3, and I'm just using like cream colored cardstock. You can use cardstock. You can use coffee dyed paper. So you have your options of what you want to do. And these are going to be cut at 8.5. So I know at 8.5, it's going to look like I'm cutting 2.5, but I'm not. I'm just taking 2.5 off my page because US letter is 8.5 by 11. Okay, so that gives me my 8.5. And then I'm going to cut it by, let me double check to make sure. Yes, I'm going to cut it by 6. So 8.5 by 6. I need 3 8.5 by 6s. So our template that we made is actually 8 by 5.5. So you'll see it's just a hair underneath, inside. Okay, so I have those 3 done. Set those over to the side. And then I'm actually using, it's Montauk watercolor. This is actually 140 pound, 300 gram. And this is just a Canson from Hobby Lobby. You guys need to quit talking about yachted. Because now you made me think about it. That's bad. Stop. Okay. And this watercolor paper is perforated, but I'll just pull it out like that. So I'm going to pull a sheet out. And you can use a lesser weight if you need to. But this is watercolor paper. Well, let me hold it up there so you can see it. There you go. This is the watercolor paper that I use. And it's just Canson from Hobby Lobbyist. What I use. Okay, so let me fold this and crease this. Okay. Okay, and then this page, I'm going to cut at, give me a second. Let me find my original. I'm also going to cut at 8 by 6. Hey, April's in the house. I like Fat Albert. I actually like that show. I love that cartoon when I was... Well, it went through earlier. Now I'm trying to get it to go through. There it went. Okay, and I'm going to cut this at 8 by 6 also. So this page is 9 by 12. So I need to cut off 4. Yes, you can use a file folder if you want. Yes, on any of this, you can use a file folder for any of the cardstock if you want. The watercolor paper, when we get to that part, you'll see why I used watercolor paper. You can try to use other paper. It'll probably work, but you need to make sure you use something that's really thick. That's got, some bulk to it. Let's see, and I'm going to cut this at 6. Okay. Okay. Then, I have one other thing that I need to cut. Well, I have a couple things I need to cut. Hold on, let me grab. And I'm going to use one of my sheets of my wax paper. Okay. My template that I cut was 8 inches by 5.5. My watercolor paper, you only need one piece of watercolor paper, and I cut it to 8 by 6. 8 by 6. And my 3 cardstocks were cut to Not by 8 by 6, that's for sure. Oh no, yeah. These were cut a little bit long. These are actually cut. Yes, these are 8.5, I believe. Hold on, let me double check here, guys. Yes, my cardstock is cut at 8.5. Sorry, headache. 8.5 by 6 for my cardstock, and then my watercolor paper I actually did 8 by 6. Okay. And then I'm going to use one of my pieces of wax paper. Mine are already like folded in half, so that works for me. Or you can use any kind of parchment paper or wax paper. So that is up to you. Okay. And then this is going to be at 4 inches, and I'm going to cut it 4 inches by, let me see if it's going to measure 6. Yep, 4 inches by 6 inches. Oh, sorry. It would be 8 by 6. Mine's folded in half. So if you have a piece like this that's folded in half, it's going to be 4 inches or 8 by 6 for your wax paper too. Okay. Did I totally confuse everybody? Is everybody lost? Okay, so let me set this to the side. And what we're going to start with, I'm just going to grab one of my cardstocks. I'm going to set the rest to the side for a second. And I do need my little template. Okay. And first off, I'm going to fold this in half. And fold my cardstock in half. And then I'm going to burnish it down to make sure it's got a really nice fold. And you can burnish it with anything. I'm just going to use mine because it's in here. Or use a bone folder. That's fine too. Okay, so I've got that like that. And then I just flipped my little corners everywhere. Okay, then I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm going to use the 1/2 inch side. And I'm just going to taunt my corners and round them because, you know, I think they look a lot nicer when you do. That's just me. Oh, Cheryl, probably not. There's no way to do them wrong. Okay. So that's what that's going to look like. Okay. So I'm going to grab my template and I can fold it in half. Just because that will make it a little bit easier for me. And you can see when I put my template in there that, you know, it's going to be, you're going to have that edge around it. Oh, you'll have to share pictures so we can see. We love babies. Okay. And I have some fabrics that I've pulled out. And, you know, there are various different ones. I've got this one that's got a brown in it. And I've got this really nice based cream color. I have a really pretty blue. I have this cute little green one. Okay, so about 3 or 4. You can do more if you want to. I'm actually going to use the 4. So I'm going to lay this out. And I'm going to find my template. And these are like scrap cuts for me. So I know I really do like this green. It's one of my favorites. So I'm going to cut this down. roughly just around my template so I can get it more workable so it's not attached to everything. Okay. Then the easiest way to do this, the easiest way, never the simplest, but the easiest that I like to do is I'll lay my template down since it's got the fold in it. And I'll just sort of hold it down. Make sure I grab my fabric so it lays in there. And fold it in there. And then I just sort of move it around. And I mean, I could take my fabric and fold it, I guess would be easier. I usually do this without thinking about the steps because I just do it. So the whole thinking about and explaining exactly how I do it makes it. Okay. And this, because it's fabric, it does not have to be exact. Okay. And you could lay this out and cut it with a rotary cutter, on a board, just measure it out, and it would probably be a lot simpler. But I was trying to show you guys on video, which makes it. And like I said, if it's not perfect, that's fine, because, if we know anything, we rip our fabric and everything all the time anyway, so it doesn't matter. And you don't have to do all of these the same size. You can vary your size. So there's my green one. Pull my blue one out. I love this blue fabric. I think it's really pretty. And I guess I should have pre-cut these, but hey, I didn't, so I'm doing them now. This one's really square over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and line up the edges here. It'll be really square till I get done with it. And you could use, if you wanted to look, really decorative or whatever, you can use pinking shears around the edge and all of that if you wanted to. Just trying to hurry mine along here. No, those are going in at 8 by 6, 6 by 8. Yeah, I have a pen, and I've got chalk, and I've got all that because I sew. I'm just, doing it the super simple, easy way where I don't have to think about all that because I just didn't want to think about it. So that's what I'm doing. And I mean, honestly, it's the underside. I could take my pencil even, and trace along the edges if I wanted to. And then cut it. I mean, it there's a million ways to do it, but until you can't find your pencil mark. However, I happen to like water-soluble pens a little bit more than air-soluble pens. Because I bought an air soluble pen like early on when I first started sewing. I bought an air soluble pen to use, and I would mark it, and before I could get it cut, it disappeared. I don't know if it was like a messed up formulation or what they did. See, I can sit and do that, but it's easier for me just to wrap around it. Because I'm not really worried if it's straight or not, because, I sort of like it like that. Okay, one more, guys. I know you guys are probably bored watching me cut fabric. Oh, that one was all folded crooked in there. Usually they're not. Oops, I got this salvage down here, so let me. And these are my Fisker scissors. They need cleaned. They're all gunky. And I could have got my cutting mat out and my ruler and my rotary cutter and have this done in like 2 seconds flat, which is what I normally do. If I was doing this, I would just get up, go over and, cut it all with my rotary cutter and be done with it. But I'm not going to move a camera and everything to cut 4 little pieces of fabric. Look at Marty yawning. Nice, Marty. I'm trying to hurry. Hey, Lori, what do you got to say? We know you really never have anything to say. So we're all standing here at attention waiting for you. I hear you too. I kid you not, I should pull out my Christmas box one day when we're talking about that. We'll talk about all the Christmas stuff Friday, guys. I'm delaying till Friday. Okay. This one's slightly crooked, which is fine. I'm not stressing about it. Not stressing about it. Okay. I'm just pulling off some of the big, huge strings. We got the blue. I love this blue. It's just so pretty. And if you want to rough up the edges, you can. That's sort of up to you. I know they'll slowly, age themselves as we go. Okay. So Yep, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to set my fabric to the side. Now, you can use whatever you like to decorate it. I just printed out some extra sheets of mine. So I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac, and technically I could take one of my fabrics and cover the outside if I wanted to. And I'm trying to think if I want to do. Yeah, let's just do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. Let's see. I'll use this fabric. April, you're so silly. That's gross. Okay, so I'm just gonna smear my page with some glue. Okay. I've lost my silicone brush. Oh, well. I just had it too, so I could use it. And I set out specifically to use it. And now I can't find it. Okay, it doesn't matter. I use my palette knife and sort of smear it. It's okay. I know, right? That's what I always do. Cheryl, I clean and then I spend 6 months trying to figure out where I moved everything to. Okay, so I'm just going to put this down and I'm going to, center it so it looks nice, obviously. I mean, you don't want it to look bad. And sort of center it, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Not one of those people that get all... I always do that. I move, or I put stuff up so I know where it's at. I go, okay, I don't want to lose this. I'm going to put this up. Yeah, well, that's the end of that. I'll never be able to find it again. You can just write it down. I'll never be able to find it. And sometimes I put things in weird places for whatever reason. And even after I put it there, I have no idea why I put it there. I was looking for my stamps the other day. And I was like, well, I can't find my stamps. I don't know where my stamps are at. I'm looking everywhere. Because I have like my regular stamps and then I have like stamps I use for crafting. Okay, not for crafting per se. Like when I mail swaps and stuff. I have, certain stamps I use for that. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Nancy. We'll actually be doing all 3 days. So we'll do today. I was thinking, I don't know. We usually do Monday and we did Monday and Tuesdays for the My Dear Jane, and we may do that. But there's a lot I want to put into the Secret Garden one, so it may take a little bit longer. I don't know. I'll let you know tomorrow. That's my answer. But anyway, I was looking for my stamps and I couldn't find them. And I had my stamps. I have stamps that I use like when I mail swaps and stuff. That's what I was trying to say. I lost what I was saying. And okay, so I have one of the cut off pieces that I had, right? Remember I cut it off at 8 inches and then I cut it off at 6 inches. So this is the 2.5 inch strip I cut off at the end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on here. Glue. And put glue around here really heavy over here though. And I'm going to pull out, this is a number 10 washer. So this is like a 1/2 inch washer. Hold on, I'm going back to the stamp store, guys, so don't think I forgot about it. I didn't forget. So I'm putting a washer in there. And you guys will see in a minute when I'm going to do that. And I'll fold this over. And then I'm going to burnish. Anyway, so I was looking for my stamps. I know, I'm going to. Anyway, so I have the ones I use for when I swap, which are different from like the ones I use to pay bills, that type of thing. So I keep the ones I use to swap in my craft room, and my other ones are like with my household bills and things like that. So I couldn't find them, and I'm going, okay, where are they at? I can't find them. It was driving me crazy, and so I started looking for them. Couldn't find them. So I started searching, and looking around, seeing if I could figure out what I did with them, and I found them, and I had put them in. This, you guys are gonna crack up. I put them in my ephemera. I have like ephemera drawer. That's a little cabinet. It's got individual little drawers. And I had put it in there, and under I have like an image, different images. So like I have there's a flower section, and there's a butterfly section, an animal section, a holiday section, a people section. I had put it under the people section because, I use them when I send swaps to people. But for whatever, I have no idea why they went there. I have no idea why I put them there. But that's where they were at. I found them. I was like, oh, I'm losing my mind. Okay. Yes, I did put this. These are, and I get these from I think I got these from Walmart. And they're just number 10 washers. And you get a ton of, you get 175 of them in a box for $2. So I buy those. Then we have a Harbor Freight. I don't know if you're familiar with Harbor Freight, but you can find these at Menards, Hobby Lobby, Lowe's, most of those, whatever. They have earth magnets, and I get these for $2.99, and you get 10 or 12. I think 10 or 12. Hold on, if it says, I don't know. They're made in China, so who knows? No, it doesn't say. I think you get 12, and I think you get 12 or 10 or 12 in a little container, and they're super strong magnets for $2 and something at Harbor Freight. But and a lot of times, yeah, they're hard to get apart because they're that strong. There you go. We buy magnets, and you put 2 magnets together, which is great. I use the washers because I only have to use, they're cheaper than magnets. So that's why. Okay, so I have that. Then I want this. Oh, no, there it is. And I had a strip I had earlier. It was just a scrap, and it's 1 inch wide. So I just sort of cut 1 inch by 1 inch. The magnets, it doesn't give me It doesn't, oops, give me a size, but they're about a 1/4 inch round. But these are super strong. But I get them from Harbor Freight, HARBORFREIGHT, Harbor Freight, and you can order these online. So like when I go, I buy like 5. They're like $2 and something a piece. So I'll buy $10 worth. So I'll buy like 5 containers full. So I'll have 50 magnets at a time. And then when I notice I'm down to like 1 or 2, then I'll go restock. So yeah, that's how I do. That's how I do mine. Okay. So because my circle punch is way on the other side of my room and I'm too lazy to get up and get it, I'm just going to take this 1 inch square. Well, it's actually like 1 1/8. And I'm just rounding the corners on it. And then I'll just trim up the little bit on the edge where it's sort of crooked. Just a tad bit. Okay, now I am going to grab my ink pad. Cheryl, I find my glycerin in the pharmacy section. It's like right by the alcohol and stuff over in there. Well, hold on, Marty, and I'll show you. Hold on just a second. I have to grab. And this is just double-sided 1/4 inch tape. This is Sue Quain score tape. And it is just like one of the ones I found is the best out there for me. Now, alcohol, I could see. No, 91% alcohol is what it is. But you can use 70. It'll just take a little bit longer to dry, but you can use the 70. But 91% alcohol you can find in the pharmacy section usually. Sometimes you will have to ask at your farm, like if you go to Walmart and stuff, certain Walmarts, you'll have to actually ask at the pharmacy counter because they don't keep it out where everybody can get into it. Okay, so I just use that to sort of hold my magnet. It just makes it easier. Oh, they didn't have any alcohol of any strength. Yeah, it might be a bad time right now because people were still, sort of a little odd. You might look on Amazon, some places like that. Sometimes you can find it. Okay. And so I'm going to lay this on my little thing just so I can. 1, 2, 3. Case. And I'm just going to sort of try to center this up on my little page. And then I push my little circle down where I have my glue to glue it down. Oh, really? Even Amazon too, huh? That's pretty crazy. Now, if you didn't want to have to put the little circle on the outside like I'm doing, I'm just doing this sort of rubbing around it, making sure it attaches. You could have put it under the fabric too. So you have an option. See, we can find alcohol and stuff up where we're at, but we still can't. There's hand sanitizer you can't find for nothing, but you can't find alcohol. It's really weird. Oh, okay. So I have that. So I have my washer in here. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to do both sides. Okay, and then let me see if I can get it to stick. Why is it not sticking? I think I put my magnet upside down. Nice. Why is it not sticking? I have never had my magnet not stick. This is crazy. Because you've seen how much they were sticking. And it's always stuck to my washers before. Unless maybe my cardstock's too thick. Well, we can fix that. I'm just going to use another magnet then if it wants to act all crazy like that. That's weird because it's always worked with my magnets, with my washers before. I don't know why it's not. It's sort of crazy. Oh yeah, look at some of... Yeah, you don't have to have alcohol. You don't even have to have the glycerin. If you're going to use it, if you think you're going to use it up real fast. The alcohol and the glycerin just helps kill the bacteria and helps preserve it longer. But yeah, you can use just water if you need to, Cheryl. You don't have to have it. Or, if you can use lesser alcohol, or, just use water if that's what you have right now. And then later on, when things pick up, you can always, if you have some left over, grab some alcohol and dump some alcohol in it. Or go to the liquor store and buy some Everclear. I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. Now that one held just perfectly fine, but now it's all wrinkled. Doesn't drive me crazy. Okay. I'll do a second version later, but okay. Then I'm going to fold this over. And I'm going to make sure I have a little room, like I usually do. Oh, about a 1/16 of an inch extra, just so it has, room for some of the bulk. So I just sort of hand crease that. You can use a scoreboard and, crease that down if you want to. Yeah, Jana, I'm pretty sure that I think that's what I did. I just put it upside down because I've done that a million times and not had any problems with like my mini albums and stuff like that. I'll use magnets too because, they don't cost as much. And it helps, save your magnets for the important stuff. So yeah, I think that's what I did. Just one of those days. So I'll just use 2 magnets on this one. It'll be fine. And then in the next one, I'll use a washer. Okay. So I have that. Okay. So I'm finding my needle. There's my needle. If I can get a hold of it. I can't get a hold of it. But yeah. Yeah, you could use Velcro, anything like that. So, oh, Janet, I know. If you don't want to use Velcro, you could also put ribbon and do a ribbon closure. If you don't want to do ribbon, you could rip fabric and actually use, you know, fabric closure. However you want to do it. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my fabric and I'm going to put my fabric this way. Of course, the wrinkle and stuff's in there, which, I mean, you can iron that out if you're one of those people that eventually that'll, not be in there anyway. And then I'm going to grab my awl, just like when we're doing a journal. But I'm only going to do 2 little holes. Try to straighten it back up. And again, you can use little clamps if you need to. Some people do, some people don't. And then I'm just going to tie it in, but I'm not going to tie it off in a knot. I'm going to put a bow because if I use my fabric out of here and I want to put more in here, then I can put more in here, if that makes sense. And then, if you have to adjust your little tab a little bit, then, no problem. But there it's got the little magnet and it's all a little closed. And I've got fabric to put in my journal. You're so funny. And then I have it in there where I can put it in there. My fabric. So if I want to embellish or anything like that, which, I really like doing, especially if I have a journal, like if I'm going to leave a lot of naked pages, that gives you that to take with you, which is super nice. I like that. Okay, so moving on, that's the first thing we're doing. So we're going to grab the second one. And let me, hold on, I'm looking for my little sheet here. Okay. And then I'm going to use my, remember the 8x6, so we have that 2.5 on the edge. Yep, you can use it for all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So this is the end off the edge, the bottom where we cut off the edge. And this one, I really hope my art glue doesn't act goofy tonight. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm going to fold this in half. Okay. So I'm going to grab whatever sheet I want to use for the back of it. And I really love this one right here. So you can sort of, see where you want to put it. I think I want to put mine right there because I want to get the words on there. Yep. So I'm just going to put some glue on there. And I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac because I have to take my lid off of here and clean it really, really good because it just keeps getting stopped up. Sometimes there's just a point where you have to take it off and re-clean it. Which is fine because Fabri-Tac works really good. And I like how it does paper too, so... And I'm just going to burnish it down. And now you could cut your paper down and just mat your cardstock if you wanted to. It just sort of depends on how you want to do it. She's not hiding again. Lori's hiding. I think Lori's hiding under the bed because she doesn't want to go in the corner. Okay. So... and I'm going to ink around my edges. Well, let me do that in a minute. Okay, so I folded this in half, and then what I'm going to do is lay it down on my table, or, wherever you measure at. Mom's got a headache too. And then I'm going to mark about 1/16 of an inch, just at the top. And then I'm going to come in about 1/4 of an inch up, and I'm just going to trim up to that top right there. So when I get done, it's going to look like this. It's going to be connected at the bottom. Okay. So I am going to ink this before I do anything with it because it's too hard to get in the nooks and crannies. You guys are so funny. I think it's probably because she was out in the sun. Because I know my oldest is over there and they were plowing in the garden and planting and all of that kind of stuff. So it may be just sun. That may be my problem too, because we've did our garden and stuff too. Okay, I am going to grab my corner rounder and round my little corners here, which I probably should have done before I inked them, but hey, why would you ever do anything when you're supposed to? You You can always wait till later and do it. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with my Fabri-Tac. Yeah, well, and it's bad allergy time too, and then the heat and everything else probably I think makes it worse. And then I'm just going to put a little glue all the way around. And if you could use, I could use my double-sided tape to do this, or, you know, art glitter glue, whatever you want to use. Technically Elmer's glue, I guess, if you want to. I am going to put a little bit more right here in this center, a little high right there, just so that gets really good, you know, stick to it. And then I'm just going to line it up to the bottom. And move it over a little bit to where it's supposed to be. Yeah, they're real bad right now. The pollen count stuff is just crazy. Okay. So now that I glued that, I can go around and ink. If I do want to, then you just do have to burnish this down a little bit more. Yeah, and the rain has just got everything going insane. And then I do want around my corners. Okay, so I'll ink inside in a little bit. Let me get the outside done. Yeah, it's been nonstop rain and stuff here too. Yep, baby powder or talc. If you don't want the smell of baby powder, you can use cornstarch too. It works really well, and you don't get that. Yeah, they said that we're supposed to get storms and winds, and I know some places we're getting hail and stuff already. So hopefully it won't hit here too soon. Oh, you like this one too, Marty? You're so funny. Marty likes everything. You guys remember that commercial was that Life cereal? That Mikey likes everything. That's so funny. But they do it now and it's like a little girl, but it used to be a little boy. It's really weird. It's sort of weird to see a little. Okay. So I'm going to burnish down really good. So this is a little folder we're going to use. Remember how we put envelopes in the center? And awesome, Cheryl. So this is going to go in the middle of one of our signatures, and one side will hold our lace and one side can hold our washi. So that's sort of a way to use that. So we'll have fabric in one, we'll have washi, and we'll have our lace. So these, and one will go in the middle of each signature, so we have it. Okay. Then we're moving to the very last one. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay, so let me find everything that I need. Okay, so we have our wax paper, our watercolor paper, and our cardstock. Woo, buddy. So let me see, what do I want to use? And again, I'm looking through, extras that I printed off. I think maybe, let's see, let me fold this and see. Let me fold it and see. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure I get the little fox on there. So, okay. You guys are so funny. And again, I'm gluing my table. That's what I'm doing. Gluing my table. And I'm just going to make sure I move it up here a little bit. Glue that down. Huh, really? At first, I wonder if you're, with the winds and stuff, maybe the internet. I did quit talking because I was concentrating on putting that down there. Okay. Let me fold that one. And burnish. I'm going to go ahead and ink this. I'm not, well, yeah, I guess I could. Let me go ahead and round the corners. Might as well. Really? I'm fumbly today. And then I'm going to ink the edges. Because, everything's better when you ink it. Awesome. Yeah, Elizabeth does some really cool, her jelly prints are pretty cool. And no, you do not have to ink these if you don't want to, and you don't have to ink around the inside if you don't want to. That's just me. Try exiting out and coming back in. I can't tell her that because if she's froze, she won't see me doing it. Okay. So I have that. Then I have my, remember I have my watercolor page that I'm actually going to trim about a 1/2 inch off here. Elizabeth is podal. And I'm just going to cut about a 1/2 inch off. So when you do your watercolor, do 8 by 5.5. And that way it falls inside the size of your, so it's inside your cover. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it in half. Okay. Then okay. So now we're going to work with this. So let me get everything out of the way before I create my mess. Okay. And I have these little tubes of watercolor. No, I actually want it flat. I don't want to cut the corners on here. So these little tubes of watercolor, and I've had them for a while, and I thought, well, I'm going to use them. So, and I'm just going to squirt out a little bit of each little color. Ooh, that's too much. Oh, no, you're okay, honey. There's a couple different colors of greens and you can buy these. This is one of the little like sample packs. You can buy this. It's just a little bitty like a beginner watercolor kit. It's like one of the little generic ones you buy at Walmart. I think I paid like $9 and you get oh, that one went all gooby. Let's see, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you get 10 little tubes of paint and a little like 6x9 like watercolor thing with it, and some brushes, and like a beginner's guide to. Yeah, I love these little tubes. They're so cute. They're nice to have if you travel, if you need little ones, you know, because a lot of times things are so big and bulky. Hold on just a second. I had to grab a jar that I could rinse my brushes in. This is just an old nasty yuck jar. Okay, and then I've got, it's not a flat brush, but it's, let's see, it's Crafter's Choice. It's a 3/8 inch 10 millimeter is what it is. And then what I'm going to do is, I know I need 10 spots. So I have room for 5 on each side. So I'm going to, you know, let me find my ruler. I'm just pretty much, and I'm just roughly estimating. It doesn't even have to be exact. Just sort of trying to draw a line in somewhat the center. And I mean, you could do that on your table if you wanted. If you want it to be exactly, I'm not all that goobered about it. And then if I do this one in the middle, then I know about where the other one's going to be. And that just sort of is a little guide, because I have 4 squares. So I know one can go here in the middle, one up here, one here, and there. So I can do 5. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paint and I'm going to get a nice amount. Okay. And I mean, you can start working from which way. I'm going to work from left to right because I'm right-handed. And I'm just going to paint my watercolor on there, but I'm going to paint it on there thick. Okay, so when I say thick, I mean pretty thick. And I'm just going to paint a little square on there. That doesn't have to be perfect, unless you're one of those. I mean, if you want it to be perfect, you can draw each individual little square, perfect little square if you want. I'm just not that kind of person. I like the more organic, messy look, I guess is the word. I don't know if that's a word. I'm going to wash my brush out. Make sure you got it all clean. Then I'm going to go into my white because, you know, it makes sense to me to put black and white next to each other. And I'm going to do my little white square. And if you need to, you know, grab more than you can. I'm not going to probably use a lot of white just to mix. So I'm put that there. I'm good with that. I did too. What do we do? Okay, so I got my black and white. So then I'm going to go into my primaries. So I'm going to grab my yellow and my little middle. I'm just going to do a little middle square of the yellow. I might as well pick up as much of it as I can. Just do a cute little yellow square. Yeah, you can drop blobs on there. The only thing I found is when you do the blobs, you have to let it set for quite a while to let it dry. And I want to like this not to take forever to dry, so that's why I'm sort of smearing mine out. But yes, you can. But yes, you can just drop your blobs on there and let it dry. Okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah, you can do that. I just did it on my thing because, well, I'm not gonna have waste anyway because I'm gonna I'm gonna use mine for something after I get done anyway. So, um, I wasn't really worried about the waste part of it. But yes, you can. But yep. And normally, like, you can do multiple sheets if you have different colors. Um, I mean, I have a ton of watercolors, so let's see. Let's grab purple and put it in all different colors. So that's actually a green. So like my other one has a lot more colors on it, but I don't have it in here. It's in. Yeah, I think the camera just sort of distorts it sometimes. You can't quite tell. You see? And then I'll get my brown. No, Nancy, I don't. I do it for my own personal, but I thought um with this one I would sort of show how I do it so you guys could see because I do it, like personally for myself. It's not something that I would do, yeah, for every journal now. It's a lot of work. So like, well, like this isn't because there's only 10, but like normally I have 30. So I didn't, some people may not know how to do this. Now, this will have to set overnight. So like if you do this in the winter, you may have to let it set, a night or two. And you can just sort of check when it's dry, you'll know. So when it's dry and you want to go back in and you want to paint with it, then especially if you're traveling or like you have it in your journal, what I would suggest is an aqua brush or a water brush. I don't know, Elizabeth. I've never had to let mine set for longer than 2 days ever. And I've did it multitude of times. So but that's just me. But yeah, I would suggest a water brush because as it dries, you'll be able to go back in and wet it and use your watercolor for it. So this will have to set overnight, and then once it dries, I'm going to set this over here. Once it dries, what I would do is I would put my sheet with my watercolors here. Yeah, those are great to carry along with you because you can re-wet, all of that. So once you, let me see. Okay, here's just a piece of generic that I was using earlier. So, once I have it and say my colors are dried, I can put it in there. Then I take wax paper and put in between it because that keeps it from, yes. And I put a piece of wax paper in there. And then I will take, well, let's see. I'm trying to see if I have any here right now. Anyway, I will take just how we bound the fabric in. I do the same thing and hold it in. If you don't want to do that, you can actually tie it in where you can slide it out. But I do put wax paper in here. So if you had multiple different, maybe you have different brands that you want to use, you could use, put, this brand down, put your wax paper in. You can fold another piece and put another piece in. And then wax paper. And you can do as many layers of that as you want. Any type of thing like that you want to do. Technically, I've never tried it, but I'll have to try that and see. I don't want to say if it doesn't work or not. But yeah, I put wax paper between it and then just tie it off, with like a bow on the side to hold it in. And you have basically a little watercolor palette. Now, what you can do too, and this is up to, each individual. If you don't want to use wax paper, what I've also done is laminate. You know how you have your laminating sheets that you run through your laminator? Don't put anything, or you can put, if you want to, you can put something in it, a piece of paper in between it or whatever, decorative paper or whatever, or just white copy paper. Run it through the laminator, but I've done it clear with nothing in it and just ran it through, cut it down to the same size, and then folded it, put my laminator sheet in between here. Then you have a clear palette. So, if I'm on here and say I want a lighter blue, then I can dip in. Can you show the paints again? Oh, these are they're just little tubes of watercolor. Let's see what brand they are. I don't know. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to see what brand they are. I don't know. They're little, just teeny tiny little tubes, and you can get them from Walmart. And they come in a set. Hold on, you get those. I think you get a palette knife, you get some brushes. Okay, it's Royal Langnickel. And you get a little watercolor artist pad that comes with it. And they're like, oh, $8 or $9. I mean, they're like it's not super expensive. But you can use any type of watercolor. You could use this kind of watercolor. Hold on, let me pull these up. You could use that type of watercolor. I could paint with like watercolor brushes and put them in there. You can use the little tub watercolors. Yes, you make a palette. You're making a palette. That's exactly what it is. In here, you can use the dry watercolors, that come like that. You just wet them, just like you're going to watercolor paint with them when you add your water to them. But then you paint them onto your palette and let it dry. Same thing with like these, the dry tab style watercolors. Like with these, let me find. Okay, let me just get these out of the way. And yes, I know these are over here. I'm just going to let those dry over there. They're not bothering anything. Okay, so say I take my water brush. Let me put this down really good. Okay, so I can come in with this and paint my square. And just keep painting it because, I mean, you're pulling that paint off there as you're wetting it. And then just keep, paint on there. Okay, and then, move on to your next one. Oh, no, there it is. I was like, I think I used all my water. But you can do it with any kind of. Yeah, Peerless. Okay, yes. Peerless is the same. Mindy, it's the same exact concept. And you can buy those. The only thing I like about with these is because if there's certain colors I like more, than I can add. If there's colors I don't really use, I'm not wasting space for that. But yeah, Peerless are really nice too. But I don't know how much you paid for yours, but most of the time they have a pretty hefty price tag on them, and a lot of people just don't have that. Oops, I didn't rinse that out. I didn't rinse my brush out, you guys. Got so sidetracked. And some people don't have that hefty price because a lot of times your Peerless, some of those you'll pay high dollar for, depending on what brand it is. So, a lot of people, don't have that money to pay or whatever. So this is just a cheap alternative of basically making your own. Making your own Peerless book. And you just keep adding your colors and then you let it dry. Now when you do these, if you want to put more, let it dry, go in, re-wet it, and add some more. You just keep building up that layer. So yeah, you can do it, and build, as many colors as you want. You just keep adding your colors. Oh yeah, the Peerless are awesome. But like I said, they come with a hefty price, and a lot of people, don't want to pay that. And they're hard to fit in a journal where, this makes it really easy, to put in a journal. And if you have, I don't have any because Giggles has mine right now. Go figure. If you have watercolor pencils, and you're going to use watercolor pencils, basically all you do is just, take your pencil and just scribble, color with your pencil and just color your block, and you just want to keep coloring until you get a nice, thick, heavy coat on there. Then you've got that's how you do your watercolor pencils. So for the journal tonight, we did the fabric, our little fabric. We need to do this and make an art journal. There you go. Future Edith Holdens of the world. But yeah, so in this one, you can see there's areas. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. Yeah, you can see there's areas where it's starting to dry. Some of the thicker parts haven't dried. So this will take longer to dry. Something like this, if you do like this, you can paint, and usually within 2 or 3 hours it's dry. So these are watercolor brushes. And with the watercolor brushes, you're going to do just basically like you do your pencil. You're just going to color it and just keep going over top of it, adding additional layers. Just keep adding to it so it gets, and you'll see, the more you do it, the thicker it'll get, the darker it'll get, the thicker it'll get, and then you let it dry. So, let's see what other. I haven't used this one. This is a new one I haven't used. You can use cardstock. The reason I put it on watercolor paper is because if you've ever put water on cardstock, after a while it starts shedding, and the paper decomposes and rolls off, where watercolor paper is made to withstand the water. So when you're using water to rejuice, rehydrate your paints, it will hold it, long term. It will last longer long term. Okay, then if you have the watercolor pots, which is what this is, I just use a palette knife, and then you can come in and just literally, move it around with your palette knife and then let it set. So, that's just some ideas. But that's why I use watercolor, because, and like I said, if you've ever, got a paper wet or anything like that, and how if you move it around, it I don't know what word to use. It sort of peels off. That's why I use the watercolor. And it's going to hold up longer. But I don't know if you guys can tell. This orange one's already dry. It's dry. This one's not dry. Yeah, see? So this orange one's dry. Completely dry. Yep, I like that pink. So let me see if I have, I don't know if I have enough water in here or not. I might have enough water. Make sure my blue is all rinsed out of here. Nope. Let me put some more water in. I don't know how it work on vellum. I've never tried it on vellum. So I don't know. But then when you want to when you want to do it, you just, throw some water on it and pick it up, and then your orange is ready to go. And then you can just watercolor with it. Um, that's not necessarily true about the vellum puckering. And I'll tell you why. Because there are different weights of vellum. And depending on the type of vellum that you purchase, they have different things in them. And some of them are actually like a plastic base. It just depends on what kind that you get. So I think it would just sort of depend on, what brand you got, the thickness that you got. Because I actually have some vellum that I bought that is heavyweight, but it has a plastic base. Or it's not a plastic base, but it has plastic in the weight of it is. Yeah, see, I have real thick heavyweight. I don't know. Hold on. Let me grab a piece. Let me grab a piece. Yeah, and I'll show you, like, my heavyweight. You can actually use alcohol, water, and solvent on it. So it's got a different base on it. It's a reborkable service. Oh, okay, Kate. Kath. Whew, can't read. Yeah, it gets her feeling better. I don't know, Nancy. Hold on, I'll show you. Grab a little bit of water. Trying to reliquify some of that water. Yeah, I mean, it's holding up. It's not going through the paper. Let me grab the tube and try to squirt some on it and see how it does. I'll just use purple. I'll use purple. Yeah, it's not puckering. It's not even coming through the back. Like, I mean, like there's nothing even coming through there. It's not warping or anything. So, yeah, I don't think it will. But I mean, I'll let it sit here for a little bit. But yeah, it's not puckering or anything. But like I said, there's different types of vellum. So I think the vellum would work fine if you're using like a heavyweight, you know, because yeah, it's not. I mean, you guys can see it. It's not. It's flat. There's no like buckling. Where did I get this vellum? I bought mine on Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance when I bought it. Does it crack when I fold it? No, I've used it in my journals and everything. It just creases like regular vellum. It doesn't crack though. No, it just creases. So, I mean, that's what. Yeah, you can buy it from different places. And that's one thing that. But this is heavyweight. And this is made. Um, let me see. This is 48 pound, 180 GSM. But it actually says durable, reworkable surface, great for markers, alcohol, water, and solvent. And it's 9x12. It's by Clear Print. Now, it was $19.99 originally, and you get 25 sheets. So it is pricey. I got mine on clearance for $4.99. So it wasn't that bad. But yeah, and I mean, I think that's. I'm trying to think how to say this. I think that's one thing that you see a lot of people do across crafting things. And I think sometimes it hinders us as creators because, like, you know, if one thing does, you know, well, you know, vellum warps with with water, or you know, if it gets wet or whatever, it'll warp or glue or whatever. Sometimes I think we think about things so much, you know, or we just take things for granted without actually experimenting and trying. So, you know, we never really know. And I think sometimes, you know, you have to reach outside your comfort zone and actually try things. Because like, you know, that's not doing anything. Yes, Connie, I print on mine. And these are great to use. I stuck mine in my paint. I've printed on these, like full sheets, and actually like folded them in half and used them as like my signature cover. And like, I mean, this has this on here, but I'm gonna play with it here for a minute, guys, because you know, I'm not gonna use nuts. So I mean, like, so I mean, it's even that it's not. So, yep, I would definitely say that you should be fine. I mean, like I said, you never know. Test it because, yours may be a different brand than mine or whatever. And I mean, you don't know. I also have, let me set this to the side. Then I'll use that for something later. Let me find my other. Well, I think my hoodlum took off with it. Yes, that's vellum. I also have marker paper. You can buy marker paper that is paper on one side and it's plastic on the other side, that you can use too. But apparently Giggles has taken off with my ream of that. So yeah, so there is a ton of things out there to do, and I'm one of those that, if somebody goes, well, does this work? I'll just try it. It was heavyweight vellum, yes. 48 pound, 180 GSM. So, but yeah, if you don't know for a fact something will work, then just try it. Because a lot of times we think, or, somebody tried this and it didn't work, or, I tried this and it didn't work. But, there's so many different brands, and different brands have different things in them. So they're going to react differently and they're going to do different things. So, you never know until you try. And there's my life lesson for today. Soapbox down. But, okay, guys, that is what I had for today. And I'll show you, like, this one's starting to dry. I mean, obviously there's places that's gooby because it's thicker. That's just, the way life works. Because I didn't put it all in there the same thickness, which is sort of one of the cool things. If you use a lot of a certain color, you can put a heavy thickness. If you don't use a lot, then just put a little. But yeah, and I mean, like, this was, like, obviously not the best job. You could actually, set and draw, circles if you want, punch a circle, and draw a circle and actually do your little individual circles or ovals or whatever. Oh, thanks, Nettie. No, this will go in our little folder with the wax paper, and it will go in one of our signatures. So, this, and it'll be to use, like, if you want to color anything inside the journal once it's finished, if you're embellishing anything like that, if you stamp and you want to color your stamps, watercolor inside your stamps, if you use archival and all of that. So, like, this one will be in a signature, the fabric will be in a signature, then the little folder that we made, let me find it. So we'll have let me move this back out of the way. We'll have the watercolor one will be in a signature. Then we'll have the little folder, and this one will have our lace and our washi in it. Like, a little plain card wrapped with lace and a plain card with washi, or, whatever we want to use in there. That'll be in one. And then our little fabric one will be in there. So you'll have all the stuff you need to create inside our journal. Yes, these will be removable. So, you can take it out and use, so you can take this out. You can take, your watercolor out and use it all throughout your thing. Or, if you use your watercolors up and say you get a new brand, you like that brand better, you can take it out and reuse it. The same thing with your fabric, if you use all your fabric. No, Connie, we are not using ribbon. We'll actually be sewing the journal in. Unless would you guys rather do a ribbon? Would you rather do a ribbon, the signatures ribbon style, or would you rather do them sewed in? A lot of people like the traditional sewed in part. So, yep, my wax paper is a little bigger than what I need it to be. I got to trim that down. But yeah, so these will go inside, and then we'll have them, to use inside your journal, which is nice. So, like if you're traveling, you just have to grab your journal, and you have that. We're gonna do one of the little mixed paper notepads to put in there. Nancy, you're like me. It's like, okay, whatever. Okay, let me think about it. Let me think about this. Okay. I'll think about it and make a decision. We may do a mix. Maybe like sew 2 of the signatures in, and they're like signatures you would use for like permanent stuff. And then we could use ribbon to tie, like the center one in, where you could use it for like your monthly journal, and every month you could replace it out if you want to. You can't remove them if they're sewed in. How can you remove what? These little notepads or the actual signatures? I know everybody loved the ribbon tie with the Jane. Everybody loved it. But I think it's like a new thing, so people were all like, oh. So yeah, we may do it that way. Oh, the little books. No. The little books will be removable. Yeah, those will be removable. So I bet, Lori. I used to have a Jane. No, I don't anymore. This is my garden journal, so it ought to be a little messy. Yep. I'm with you, Trish. So, okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm wearing down, so I think I'm gonna. That's so funny. So I think I'm gonna go for the night. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You guys are all the greatest. I love y'all. Thanks for your support. Make sure you like, comment, share with your friends, whatever you want to do. Night, Lori. Have a good day at work tomorrow if you work. Yep, I am. I'm going to try to knock this headache on its butt. Okay, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Good night, dear. Night, April. I will see you guys again tomorrow, and we'll work on the garden journal a little more. I told you, I'm getting sleepy. Okay, I will let you guys go, and you're welcome, Elizabeth. And we will see you tonight, or see you tomorrow. Not tonight. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.